What's up, people? MarzX79 here, and I went and saw Dragon Ball Super Broly last night. And when I tell you that this is literally, I think, the greatest time to be a Dragon Ball fan, guys, Dragon Ball has never really before brought me to the point of where I was borderline ready to lose my emotions, but the first 15 minutes of this film was so good of explaining the backstory between Frieza and the Saiyans. And at first I was against the thought of like rebranding the canon story of like the the story of Bardock and how he got the powers to like see the future. I was against that whole idea at first, but I can tell you off top that and this is my opinion. Okay, it's my opinion. The first 15 minutes of this movie had a bigger emotional impact on me than the entire movie of the story of Bardock. It's, I don't know, just re-establishing his personality and like establishing his relationship status with Gini, Goku's mother. Just the fact that we get to meet Goku's mother, and maybe it's just because the fact that I'm a parent myself. Maybe that's why it just hit me so hard. But just the fact of them, pretty much in a nutshell, the first 15 minutes is the Superman story. It pretty much that's what they changed the canon story to. Bardock had a feeling that Frieza was coming to destroy the planet. He gathered all the Saiyans together to quote unquote give them a weapon, but he had a feeling because the legend of the Super Saiyan story had gotten out, and he had been hearing rumors that the Frieza Force was they were getting kind of nervous about it. So he had a feeling that Frieza was definitely going to destroy them. So him and Genie snuck Goku off of the planet and sent him to Earth. And it was that emotional drama that let go of their son. Seeing him off to a distant world, and you just don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. It really touched me. It really did. To actually like start the review, I'm gonna try to go through it in phases. I'm gonna do the best I can because I'm still like kind of basking off of the glory of just seeing it in the theater. So I'll start off with the animation. Not my favorite when it comes to Dragon Ball. Definitely not my favorite. I think that it was those certain parts, those episodes of when Goku first got Ultra Instinct, or those couple of episodes when it just looked magnificent in Dragon Ball Super. I wish they would have went with that art style instead of the art style we had for the movie. And that's not to say it was terrible, just not my personal favorite. Yeah, but I tell you what though, the few scenes where they transformed, or where Vegeta went Super Saiyan, a Super Saiyan God, and then Goku went Super Saiyan Blue, and it was kind of like you saw a glimpse of the Ultra Instinct transformation when he went blue, and then the transformation of Broly to the legendary Super Saiyan. That all looked amazing, but just the overall like animation drawing, definitely not my favorite. So now let's talk about story. So this is just so much better, just establishing the relationship between Paragus and Broly, and like what happened to them, and like why they're so angry, or why Paragus is so angry. Really, not even really Broly, Goku and Vegeta are just pretty much just caught in the crossfire of the spat between Paragus and King Vegeta. So, but definitely it's a very well fleshed out story, and it makes sense too. It's not that typical Dragon Ball, let's just go here because of this, and it just takes place during like a random saga. Like, no, you can definitely see this story like making sense and fitting into the actual canon of Dragon Ball Super and Z and Dragon Ball, and not just like being a random non-canon story in the series that doesn't really make sense. So definitely, I feel like they did a wonderful job of like setting up the tone and explaining the motivations of Paragus and Broly, and understanding why Broly is kind of like mute. He's not kind of dumb and emo like he was in the first trilogy of Broly movies. Like, he kind of has like a same sense of those personalities still, but it's explained why. Because he grew up on a remote planet that doesn't have any intelligent life at all. So like literally his entire childhood leading into his, insane years, he's got to be at least like 40, because I know Goku and Vegeta insane years are at least about 40 at this point. So just this entire time he's literally talked to nobody except his father. And this gets established pretty early on that Paragus and Broly do not have the best relationship. It's definitely more of a master slave relationship. I mean, it's kind of some tidbits of a father-son relationship. I mean, they generally care about each other, but the way that Paragus treats Broly is clear that he's a slave, like just there to fulfill like Paragus's motivations and wishes. So yeah, love the story, man. Love the story. Just like the conclusion, I feel like they did a really good job of fitting Broly into that there's actually like a potential that he could become a part of the main story of Super as well. I love that. I love that they didn't just kill him off. No, he was just like a one-time deal. Like, it was really exciting to me that he could potentially be a regular occurrence in the show as well. I love that. I love that decision because he's a really good and interesting character. And just like Frieza, I would love to dive further into the depths of his power and what he's actually capable of. Like, if it comes to pass that he really gets a good amount of training from Goku, there's no telling how that can. I mean, that's got to be the idea for the next arc, because I mean, you're gonna have to have somebody stronger than Jiren. You're gonna have to have somebody that the Ultra Instinct that it really doesn't phase them. So you're gonna need that other character. You're either gonna have to give Goku another form yet again, or you're gonna have to have another character come in that can somehow battle against an enemy that is more powerful than Jiren. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean that's typical Dragon Ball. We know it's all coming. The next arc always features a character that is stronger than the previous villain from the previous arc. So now let's talk about probably the most important part of any Dragon Ball story movie, the fight scenes. I tell you what, I think the standout when it came to the fight scenes was Vegeta. Yeah, Vegeta had some moves in this film that, I mean, he was spinning around and like he's doing like some sweeping moves and like some roundhouse kicks that just looked so cool. I enjoyed the Vegeta Broly fight more so than the Goku Broly fight. And it was funny, when we got back into the car, my wife Jay was like, what? The Goku fight was almost like painful. Does he always seems like he's in that much pain when he's getting beat up like that? This is when he was screaming, it sounded like he was a child. I'm like, that's usually how it goes. Like, Goku gets his butt whooped a little bit, and then he finally starts to get serious, and then the bad guy brings out his real power, and then they have to figure out some kind of way to take down the bad guy even after they reach their maximum powers. But yeah, that's definitely typical Dragon Ball. Because even when he went Super Saiyan God, Goku was getting destroyed. And I also think it was really a good idea to introduce the fact that Broly could go into the Great Ape form even in his human form. I thought that was a really clever idea to explain like how he was able to match the power of the Super Saiyan God. Yeah, because I don't know, because I've been seeing a lot in the comment section where like it doesn't make sense, but I'm like, nah man, it kind of does a bit, because you know, because even when Vegeta was fighting him in his base form, you could kind of see that, you know, there wasn't really a point in the fight where Vegeta was like worried at all, you know. It wasn't until like, you know, he was the Super Saiyan God, and then Broly reached that new form of being in his Great Ape form, in his humanoid form, to where he was like, okay, wait a second, maybe this is really starting to get serious here. And speaking of that, oh man, it's so cool to finally see in anime form Vegeta in his Super Saiyan God form, because we all knew he had the form, because, you know, because you just don't go, you know, like straight to blue from like Super Saiyan. He had to unlock the Super Saiyan God form first, and it was really cool to see that too, and that definitely makes me wonder why, you know, even though in the manga, you know, he brings it out in the Universe 6 tournament, but it definitely would have made sense for him to bring it out in at least the Tournament of Power to conserve energy instead of just going straight to blue. You know, so probably just a little bit of lazy writing there, but I am glad that they finally decided to bring it out, and I'm so excited to get that SH Figuarts figure of Super Saiyan God Vegeta 2. That's probably my most wanted figure so far this year. Cannot wait to get that. So a couple other things about the fights. So that new move that Goku had when he is in Super Saiyan God form, and he kind of traps Broly in that aura of energy, and he's talking to him. Where did that come from? We need an official term for that move, because that was awesome. I don't know what it was about that. It was like a Kamehameha entrapment form move or something like that. Actually, that's a pretty good move. You know, I might want to trademark that one. We can call that one the Kamehameha entrapment. That was so cool. I love that move. Yeah, and then, you know, another thing, the voice actor for Broly, God bless him, man. I think there was so much screaming in that movie from Broly. That was 85% of his dialogue was just screaming, just that was like 85% of his dialogue, I swear. That was crazy. So definitely props to the voice actor there. So yeah, really good. So leading into okay, so you got your Vegeta versus Broly, then you got your Goku versus Broly, then they unlock all their forms, and then, you know, Frieza's on the sideline, you know, because of course if you've seen the movie, you know the story of him convincing them to go to Earth, and he wants them to fight Vegeta and Goku. Yeah, you know, his theory of unlocking Saiyan anger potential by killing Paragus was the greatest thing I've ever seen. When he was like, "Oh no, your father was hit by a random beam, he's dead." That was amazing. But yeah, that was my favorite comedic part, and it was supposed to be serious too, but I like that Toriyama is at this point is just making fun of his own creation. Alright, here, well, so obviously we're gonna need some kind of motivation for him to reach the legendary Super Saiyan, so let's just do this funny thing with Frieza. You know, we didn't want to keep that all serious and everything, and that was definitely another thing about the movie too. It wasn't, you know, that final arc and all that serious tone where the universe is at stake. It was kind of more of that. It was still kept a light-hearted feel throughout the whole movie, even when it was the last heated part of the battle. I still felt like it kept a really light tone. You know what I'm saying? I think this one specifically, you don't really need to know the entire Dragon Ball story from Dragon Ball to Z to Super. You don't need to know every little detail of each episode to understand what's going on in the movie, and that goes back to the first 15 minutes of them explaining what's going on. I feel like they did a really good job. It was really cool to see the characters that were in the movie. We got Goku, Vegeta, Broly, of course, Paragus, Bulma. Piccolo made a cool cameo of teaching them how to do the fusion technique. Well, Vegeta really, but it was really cool to see him again. Sorry, Gohan fans. Hashtag no Gohan again. Oh no. I can already hear the fandom now. Like, how did Gohan not get into the movie? How? That's God. They just crap on Gohan so much. I don't know. We've been through this, man. I think because at first, it was one point throughout the Tournament of Power where I thought Gohan was gonna win it all, man. And when he got knocked out, I mean, it was cool for them to bring back his ultimate form. But he's a secondary character now, dude. I think the movie definitely proves that. The Tournament of Power proved it, and definitely the Trunks arc proved it too. He's just there, dude. He's just there. This is the Goku and Vegeta story now. Clearly, it's been like that the whole show. Honestly, I think it's just so funny how like Z was really focused on him, kind of, and then like Super definitely focuses like way more back on Goku and Vegeta and Beerus and Whis. So definitely if you're going to see this movie for Gohan, you're going to be disappointed. That's all it is to it, man. But as a Dragon Ball fan, if I had to score it, it's definitely my favorite Dragon Ball movie of all time. This is the best one that they've made, at least out of the three, and out of all of the older ones too. This is definitely my favorite one. Yeah, I would go as a Dragon Ball. I'm Dragon Ball biased too. I would go like a 9.2, 9.3 out of 10 for sure, man. I love this film. It made me sad. It made me happy. It made me, it brought out all those good feels that you get when you're watching a really good Dragon Ball episode. When the fighting's going on, it's just like you're just yeah, it brings all that out of you, and I am so excited to see what the future holds for my favorite anime, my favorite form of media, my favorite anything of Dragon Ball of all time. It will always be my favorite show, and it is, like I said, this is the best time in my opinion that it is to be a Dragon Ball fan. I cannot wait for Dragon Ball Super to come back, man. I can't wait. I know it's coming. We've already started hearing rumors of the new arc. Can't wait, man. It's coming. So if you made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Dragon Ball is life, man. Dragon Ball is life. You know what to do. Hit that like button. And if you're a Dragon Ball fan and you follow my channel, please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Man, there's a ton of Dragon Ball content on the channel. Obviously, you just go to playlists and Dragon Ball Z. It's all under there. We talk about toys, the show, just some of my favorite moments. It's all there, man. You can follow me at youtube.com/markjackson79 and facebook.com/markjackson79. As always, I hope to see you guys on the next one. And until then, I will see you guys later. And you don't have to call me Goku. Just call me Kakarot. See you guys later. Bye.